What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another day of the Health and Wellness Summit. My name is Courtney Miracle. I am your host, if you don't know that by now. Today, I am joined by my awesome friend, Jill. Jill, how are you?
I am well. Thanks, Courtney. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Thanks for being here. So tell us a little bit about what you do and why you got into that work.
So, sure. Yeah. I am a mindset and emotional wellness coach. And I kind of say those two together and chuckle now because I used to always put it into one side. Like I was a mindset coach or I was a wellness coach, and I didn't really pair them. But I'm really coming into terms here recently that you need to be able to pair both. Like some people will practice very just in the body work, and some people practice mindset work. And I want to pair those two things because I have found how beneficial for my own personal life and change that has been. So working with healing inner traumas, inner wounding, limiting beliefs within yourself, and then working with mindset practices to keep those things going all day in and day out when you're sitting in your office and you need to kind of silence some of that anxiety that's coming up or prepare you for a big meeting that you're going into or just life in general. But I'm finding that the two of them work very well for me together, and I want to bring that work to the world.
Nice. I love it. I love it. And I think that's so true. Is it's like we so much of the world, and I feel like I've talked about this on like almost every interview. There are people that want to compartmentalize things, and I'm with you. I don't think it works, right? Because our minds are not like they're not working on their own without our body, and our body's not working without our mind. So I love that you're able to bring the two. So you work with mostly corporate women. Is that true?
I do. Right now, yes, I work with corporate women, business owners, C-level, manager, directors, pretty much any type of. Right now, all of it is women. Not that I'm opposed to men by any means, but my focus has been on women and helping them kind of learn and how to bring in a little bit of the spiritual side based, and knowing that they're not going to have to give up their success. They're not going to have to give up their careers to embrace their inner healing as well.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. So tell me a little bit about, I know you kind of have a specialty that you work with these clients on. What does that look like? And what's the really the start of the process with you that you're able to walk them through that transformation?
So I think the most important place to start, and this is kind of where I start with all of my clients, is to really work up a personal vision. So within those visions, we plan every part of your life. It's not just one piece or the other. It is definitely doing everything between your family, your career, your health, your finances, kind of having a picture of what all of that truly looks like to you, and what your best version is. And then, we always have that vision to go back to as we're doing our work, and that is our why. Why am I working so hard on something? Why am I trying to get through this block? Or why am I stuck in a place that I am right now? And I always tell my clients, our vision is what's there to pull us. For a long time, we work with fear pushing us. But once we have this vision laid out, then that can kind of pull us. And I think that is such a important piece to remember, because until you write that first vision and start living to it, you're kind of just like wandering. And then once you have a vision, you're like, oh, I can make every decision now kind of based on what that future vision looks like.
Yeah, I love that. That's one of my favorite. It's fear pushes us until vision pulls us. And I know in my life I had like I lived that switch and I was like, oh, this is a really different place to show up from, to get up every day, to when you hear people that are like, I'm just not motivated. And it's usually because exactly what you said, they don't have a vision, right? They don't know where they're going. It's really hard to get there. So do you find that in your clients, is there a struggle between, I know a lot of, high powered successful women have a feeling, or I think they do, that I have to have one or the other. I can have my career, or I can have my family, or I can have my health, but I probably can't do all of it together. So talk to me about how you get them to see all of the parts and understand they can have all of it, not just one part of it.
Oh, absolutely. And that is one of the biggest misconceptions that I've run into, and one of the hangups with women in general is, myself very much included in that, was like, oh no, I'm focusing on my career right now. So sorry, family, you're going to have to take a side because I can't be happy enjoying family time while I'm building my career and my success. And I had to do a lot of internal healing to kind of get around that, because one of the biggest things, and this is a huge part of the work, is finding with my clients, what is that story that we're telling ourselves to why we can't have it all. And it usually, I will say this, like 8 out of 10 times is usually because we don't feel like we're worth being able to have it all, right? And so once we kind of tackle that limiting belief about the idea that we could have it all, then we can start dreaming about having it all and then be able to start making it happen. You know, so many times we feel like people are judging other people, like, how do they have it all? How are they holding it all together? You know, and it's coming up with that idea that you can have it all and you get to have it all, and working through the beliefs of why we're still trying to play small, or you know what we're doing to really numb the pieces of us. Another piece that I found true for me was that I was using success to numb myself because it was the most socially acceptable form of numbing there could be, you know. And that breaking through some of those places and really realizing what's holding us back makes a huge difference in your trajectory to be able to have all your career, your family, everything kind of all at once, and enjoy it and feel like you deserve it and be happy while you're doing it. Because that again is a huge piece of my story, is that it looked like I had all of these things, but I wasn't enjoying any one of them. And so being able to change that, and now I enjoy life. I get to enjoy life. I have, you know, all of these things and I get to enjoy them. So I really want to help show women and support them that they can have it all. We don't have to choose.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. So when you work with your women, do you find a lot of them are playing the win then game? When I get this, then I can be happy, or so do you find that with people a lot?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. It's always waiting for that next thing. Okay, when I get to be a director level instead of a manager level, when I get to be executive level instead of this, then I'll be happy. Then I'll be happy. Like so much of what, and the people that I work with tend to be very in the place where they're focused in their careers. And so it's always that next piece of the career. Okay, when I get to the next level, then I will enjoy my family. Then I'll have enough money to be able to do the things with my family that I want. So
So,
absolutely.
so how do you walk them through that transition of understanding, like, they get to have it now and they don't have to wait till then? Like, do you have a kind of a process you walk them through to create that vision, but also help them live in the present?
Yeah. So a big piece of that puzzle is being able to really set some guidelines and barriers and boundaries around what is making them feel good in what they're doing and what they're doing because they feel like they should be doing it. You know, the joke of like shooting yourself to death,
Yep.
because we do a lot of work around setting boundaries, which, you know, there's rules and there's boundaries, and I like to explain the difference of those is that boundaries, and when we set boundaries around the things that we love and the things that we want and the things that are making us happy, then opposed to setting it as a rule and something like strict and that feels constrictive and that doesn't really make you excited about this piece or this vision that you're going for. And so doing things out of love for yourself, giving you be able to give yourself your own time and healing time, you know, working all of these extra little pieces in, setting beautiful boundaries for your career. You know, I was just talking to a client who we needed to change a scheduling thing, and I said, "Hey, you schedule it, you know, put it on my calendar. And then if I have any issues, I'll let you know because that'll be against my boundary." Right. So she sent something back. It wasn't working for the two of us. So we were having a lot of trouble getting to a time. But I'm like, throw all of the times to me and then let me help you, because you don't have to worry about your boundaries. I have my boundaries set. So I know what is my family time. I know what is my client time, and I can and make those boundaries for me. which is super important, especially for women that I see all the time, is that we let everybody else kind of impose on our boundaries, and then we lose our time, and then we feel, rushed, or that we're not full because we have forgotten to set up boundaries. And then we have to then appreciate the boundaries that other people do or don't set, right? Like when you have a lot of struggles, I think, with people at work, you come into these lines of, okay, well, what is my boundary and what is their boundary? Because sometimes you want to impose your boundaries on another person or vice versa. And then it gets sticky because your boundaries may not be the same, but being able to have those, feel really good about what your boundaries are, makes such a difference, because then you get to gauge what happens with your contacts with other people around the boundaries you've already set and know.
Yeah, I love that. And I think for so many women, time is the asset that we have, or we feel like we have the least of. And especially if there's no boundaries, where you're like, but this person and that person. And I mean, I know my husband and I went through this, is like we were always working. We are always talking about work. And we finally had to set boundaries of like, after this hour, we're not going to talk about work. And and I'm sure you teach your clients this of like, after this time, you don't respond to people. And it felt really good. And I was like, oh, I got my time back. I got my ability to be present. And I know for clients that you work with, it's that struggle of never enough, never this, never that. So I'm guessing even from just that piece, they have some pretty big breakthroughs that lead to more productivity and making more money and feeling better and all of that kind of stuff. So once they kind of have that vision, I'm gonna back up. Do you have a lot of clients that struggle to be like, I don't know what I want? Do you
Oh
have
yeah.
that?
Oh
Okay.
yeah. That is a clarity piece, right? That comes in. But I can say that once we generally get into our first set of really a lot of future casting and vision work, that things start to come a little more clear to them. And at least it's the clarity of what we're going to focus on first. And then the other pieces kind of fall into place because then it's starting to happen as it's supposed to. So that, yes,
Yeah. Yeah.
clarity is a piece that everybody struggles with right now.
And how do you take a client through finding some of that clarity? Is it like one-to-one sessions with you? Do you have brainstorming for them, or how do you get them to start dreaming?
Absolutely. So generally what we do is I start a lot of my programs with a week-long intensive that we start, and it is really setting into our goals, setting into writing that vision, and then starting to build the boundaries. Okay, what are we going to use in the boundaries to get to this vision, and start to see how it feels, putting that accountability partner piece in there that people get with me, or working with a coach in general, is having the accountability to come back and check in with a person that says, okay, this week I tried this boundary and this boundary, and this felt sticky. I couldn't hold it on here. So then we can look at those and say, okay, our first run, maybe it's not practical for the boundaries that we set, even though they felt really good. What can we do that's going to feel a little bit better? And being able to check back in on all of those things, check on your progress, where you're going, and then being able to spend some quiet time. Meditation, breath is extremely important to me and my clients, in learning how we can quiet our mind and our system to really feel into if something feels good or not to us. Okay, so maybe we were working towards a certain piece in our vision and we thought that that's what we wanted, but it just feels sticky. It doesn't feel right in my system. And being able to sit and really feel through that to make sure that we are on the right path, and let our wisdom and our inner guidance kind of tell us if we're in the right place or not.
Yeah, I love that. And I think so many of us, especially doers and hustlers or ex-hustlers, it's like, but this is the things I said I want to get done. And you start to get closer to it and you're like, this doesn't feel right. Right. So I love that you're taking your clients and helping them tap into their intuition and deeper into that of like, you have all the answers, but you got to take some time and get quiet with it as you move towards that vision. So I love that. So tell us, how can people work with you? What are you kind of offering, and where can they find you and all that good stuff?
Yeah, great. Thanks. The best place to see me, live with some of my content, see what's up, is I have a Facebook group. It's called Worth It, because I really feel like everything is worth it. And it's so funny, after I named it that, I realized how often I use that language.
Yeah.
Um, so stop in at Worth It. You can see videos of content, different things that I work with my clients. I'm spending as much time as I can in there, doing lives, different trainings, posting content. And then I'm also offering a free 30-minute coaching call right now. And I will leave my link for that in my Facebook group if you guys want to stop there. And it's really 30 minutes to get clear on what you want to work towards, what life looks like. It gives you a chance to work with me with some coaching and see what that feels like. So those are the two big things that I want to encourage people to stop in and see me in my Facebook group, leave some comments. I can send me a message. Excited to get people on the path of clarity and purpose. And it feels so good. And looking forward is just a great feeling.
I love that. I love that. You guys, if you're pulled to this, Jill is amazing. I've known her for quite a while, and I can tell you guys, if you struggle with vision, getting someone outside of yourself, like Jill, that can sort of pull the stuff out of your brain, right? Like, oh, this is actually what you want, right? I know Jill is amazing at this. So reach out to her, take advantage of that clarity call. If nothing else, it helps you start to set that vision and find that pull. So if you feel stuck, if you feel lost, reach out to Jill. Jill, thank you so much for being here. Jill is joining us while on vacation. So I really appreciate it. You get to go enjoy Florida and be present, right? Because it's worth it. So thank you so much for sharing, and we'll talk soon.
Thanks. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.